On today's lesson, I'm going to share two devastating habits that are the likely culprits for why you're not getting as many volleys as you should be when you're at the net. So let's get started. All right, so let's start off with some math and why I think whether you're tall or short, whether you're fast or slow, you should be able to get a ton of balls when you're at the net in doubles. So a service box is 13.5 feet wide. Now I'm 6'2", we'll make it 6 feet just to make the math easy. When I stretch my arm out from my shoulder to the tip of my finger, it's probably close to 3 feet because my wingspan is the same as my height. So 3 feet in this direction, almost 3 feet in that direction, just under 6 feet of coverage just by sticking my arm out. A racket is 2.25 feet. So we know the sweet spot is not on the tip of the racket. I get that. Let's just say it adds another 2 feet to what I'm doing here. So when I stretch my arm out, that's now 5 feet in one direction and 5 feet in the other direction. Now, if I'm allowed to, which I should be in normal point, to take one step, which is about 3 feet, I can add 3 feet to each direction. So now, with my math, if I did that correctly, that means I can cover about 16 feet of territory. And if you're looking at the 13.5 feet, I can easily get past the line there and past the line there with ease. Now, a lot of people tell me, well, I'm not as tall as you. I get that. If you're 5'2", you're not going to cover 16 feet like I did. You might be able to cover 12 or 13, which is still the width of the service box. So why aren't we getting more balls? So the two bad habits that go hand in hand are guessing and being off balance. So generally speaking, you guys are still a little bit too much more towards the line than I would like. I want you more in the middle, which would help you get balls. Because you're not getting as many balls as you think you should, you start to guess. When you guess, you get off balance. When you're off balance, you get even less balls, right? And when you get less balls, you start guessing more, and it's just this downward spiral into the toilet, and you end up not getting any volleys. And here's the funny thing about guessing is they can only go cross court or down the line, which means you should have a 50% chance of guessing correctly, and yet somehow when I'm watching videos, it feels like 0%. So guessing is not a problem if you're a savant and you can read their body language and you can read their patterns, then it's great. But the problem with guessing is you get off balance. So here's what I see from most players is the lack of balance looks like this. Number one, the ball is usually going to go cross court. So if you were going to guess, just guess middle. Most people are so obsessed with their line, they protect it, and so they're guessing line. And this is what happens. They get a lot of weight on their outside foot. So for me, it's my left leg, and their head starts to leave the center of their body. So right now, it's in the middle of my legs. When I lean a little bit, I'm this way. I now have no ability to push in that direction. So if they go down my line, that's easy. If they go middle, I'm just gonna look. Many people don't even stick their racket out, right? So earlier I said you can cover 16 feet of ground, but when you start moving your head and when you put weight on one leg, you cut that in half because I'm no longer gonna move that way. So I just went from 16 to 8 feet because I'm guessing. And even if we decide we're gonna slide side to side with our opponent's positioning, which I've said in the past, we probably do too much, but honestly, it is necessary. When I slide, I wanna keep my head centered and my weight evenly distributed. So when I go right here and the ball's in the middle and I slide, I wanna look like this, not this way, right? Or if someone gets dragged really wide and I do have to slide a little bit more towards the line, I wanna be right here. That way I still have the ability to go both ways. Again, most people make the mistake. The head is leaning and the weight goes on one leg or the other. So I'm gonna give you some videos of some great D1 players, and I want you to see where this balance comes into play and how detrimental it can be to your net game. All right, so let's take a look at some balance that could definitely be improved. We're watching the player at the net here. You can see she's covering her line, and that's just an awkward volley. Now, you can see she overcovers the alley, which you know I don't love. Because of that, she instinctively has all her weight on her left leg here towards the middle. And so because she's guessing and she's off balance, this ball's hit right to her forehand volley, which could easily be a forehand winner, but that off balance dooms her. Same player at the net here, and honestly, this is only 2 points later. You obviously watched that first ball, which we're going to talk about. I'll let the point play out because I know people love conclusions. But you can see this is a standard doubles point where neither player at the net is really doing much. It's a cross-court rally, not a lot going on. Nice little ball on the rise. And then we have our wide air eventually. Now, we're looking at this net player, and because she got burned, now she has all her weight on her right leg to prevent getting beat down the line. So you can see where this ball is, right in the middle. That could be an easy volley, but again, she's guessing, and somehow we always guess incorrectly. So you want to stay on balance, head in between your legs. She has all her weight going to the line, and it cost her on that point. We're watching our net player again. couple balls cross court, and I just want you to pay attention to her movement, where you think she's guessing, where her balance is. Obviously, she's not getting the ball. We're going to slow it down here. She's guessing towards the alley. All the weight on the left leg, no ability to push for the middle, even if that was a gettable ball. Same thing, where are we guessing? Towards the alley. All of our weight is on the left foot. We're off balance. We should not be moving away from the ball. And this one's just a master class. There's a lot of side to side, wide step, and again, all the weight on the left leg away from where the action is. And last point, we're watching the returner's partner here. She's going to close crazy and gets beat with a down the line shot. Now, she's off balance in a couple different ways. Number one, she has a lot of momentum going forward, but again, because she thinks she's supposed to cover the middle, she has a lot of weight on the right leg. And look, she can't even cover the singles court because of this lack of balance. So we have to stay centered if we want to get more balls at the net. So moving forward, number one, I want you to stop guessing. Number two, that will help you be more balanced with your head centered and your weight even on both legs. Once you do this, you're going to get more balls, which will make you want to guess less, which will improve your balance, which will help you get more balls. And instead of spiraling down, you'll be spiraling up, getting more volleys, and winning more doubles matches.